Well, to kick off, let's just say welcome. Really glad that you're all here. Visual Theory 1, first class in the program, and really excited about what can be achieved. And hopefully, we'll get some our wisdom. We'll come back and talk about this photograph a bit later on. It is a strange place to start. And next week will be Martin Luther King Jr. Day. The college will not be open, so there'll be no class next week. But the following week, we're going to dig in and really get started. In the meantime, read your camera manual and keep taking photographs of the things that inspire you. Objects, people, nature. We're surrounded by so many incredible things to photograph. Buildings, places that you enjoy going, that you think are fun. Do some street photography. You could do close-up of things that you see out on the street. Urban landscape is a great alternative to just photographing nature and the mountains and the scenery that we're surrounded by. Just get out and get shooting so you get familiar with your camera. Reading assignment for this week from the book Photography, London Stone and Upton, page 301 in the latest edition, Seeing Photographs. Dig into that chapter. We'll talk more about the books as time goes on. Sometimes we'll give you a specific reading assignment. It may be a chapter, it may be just a page, but really use the materials that we're giving you. Take it upon yourself to read the book, start at the beginning, read it in. It's not going to hurt you at all to hear the same things over and over. And there's so much that we need to learn as we go through the program. The sooner you can get off the blocks and start learning, the better it will be. So the structure of the program and Visual Theory 1, of course, there are 19 classes of photography courses in the associate's degree. Starting with Visual Theory 1, you should have an overview handout that gives you a map week by week of the things that we're going to cover. That may change a little bit, but at least it gives us a sense of where we're heading. And also on that sheet, you'll see a list of the 10 assignments that you'll work toward as well, along with the deadlines. And I'll go through those handouts when we meet face-to-face in class. Today, I just want to get on and start shooting. We'll say a quick note about taking notes, though. You should have the other handout here as well about taking notes. And really encourage you. All the research tells us that students that take notes using pen, paper, pencil, traditional method, your learning increases exponentially. It's a great tool, and I really like the outline method where you make headings, subheadings, bullet points, and just write in the bare bones of what you're learning week by week. And that way, hopefully you can listen and really engage with the conversation, but also capture the headlines. The other method I really like is the mapping method that's detailed down here as well. We'll talk more about mapping later on in the program, but the bottom line, really encourage you to take notes as we go through the program. Classes are going to be relaxed and conversational. We'll be doing demonstration. I'll be showing you how to do the things I'm asking you to do. There'll be assignments you've got to complete. We'll review your own work. Right at the end, there'll be tests. There'll be pop quizzes that we'll do from time to time. But your final grade, 20% of that will come from the final test. So it's important that you take notes and keep up with the material that we're covering. Today, we're going to shoot the first assignment. Shapes. Shapes are the most basic visual building block out there. And well, we'll look at a couple of images quickly to get us going. Your assignment, we'll look at the assignment sheet in just a minute, but it's asking you to photograph a single shape with creative use of negative space. Negative space for the purpose of where we are now, all of the space around the main shape that you're photographing. It looks simple, but where is that shape positioned in the frame? Is it dead center? Is it slightly lower than dead center? Is it slightly higher than dead center? All of these things matter when we think about composition. The proportional size of the shape within the frame. Is it too big? Is it too small? Does it fit comfortably within the frame? There are going to be little tips that we're going to come back to through the program. Looking into the four corners of the frame will be one of them. So as you're looking through the viewfinder, look into the top left, top right, bottom left corners. And that will help you really take in the whole of the frame. So single shape with creative use of negative space, the size and the proportion of the shape within the frame, and then multiple shapes working together. I'm going to show you some student work in a minute as well, but I think let's have a look at the assignment sheet and give you a quick overview of the assignment sheet as well. This is your first assignment. You should have this photography assignment sheet. The course is PHOT 1102. The assignment code 110201, and that's going to be important, keeping up with the assignment codes. When you rename your files, you'll need to rename them prefix with that code, and the suffix will be the individual image name, and then the due date 1/25/21. I want you to shoot today, and we'll talk about those images when we get in class and work out how to get them uploaded and delivered and all that good stuff. In fact, I'm hoping Ms. Henderson will be able to take you through Blackboard and how you need to deliver your work on Blackboard today. On the assignment sheet, the brief. This is the name of the assignment, and in this block, this is where we're learning what we need to do. Your assignment is to demonstrate the significance of shape as a compositional tool. You're required to take 2 types of photo, one dominant shape with creative use of negative space, and then multiple shapes working together. And ultimately, you'll hand in 6 images of each of those, so 12 images in total. And the box down here, provide for grading, tells you what needs to be delivered on Blackboard. That's the online system that the college uses. 1 image in contact sheet delivered to Blackboard, 12 images maximum on a contact sheet. And of course, we're going to go through and tell you what a contact sheet is and how to put all of that together. On the server, so this is something that the photography department has for collecting all of the digital images that are handed in addition to Blackboard, 12 images and contact sheet delivered to the assignment folder, and then 12 images maximum on a contact sheet. And then a print, provide 1 print and a contact sheet for grading. So again, you're going to be printing out your work. You'll need to provide the paper, 8.5 by 11 photographic paper. It's detailed out on the equipment and supplies list that you should be able to get a copy of. And we provide all the ink for that. Printing is just for college work, but we'll provide the ink, which is the big expense. But a box of 100 sheets should get you off the blocks well and may well do you for the whole of the semester. Preparation of the student, the equipment that you need, your digital SLR kit and tripod. So it's the basic, the camera, and then the book, Photography, London, Upton and Stone, Chapter 17, Seeing Photographs. The box down here, learning outcome. These are the things that we want you to learn. Understanding 2-dimensional representations or just the importance of shapes, and understanding of the foundations of composition. This assignment, shape, everything has a shape. It may be a circle, it may be a square, maybe a rectangle, maybe a completely random shape, but everything has a shape, and even shadows have a shape to them. And in compositional terms, they have as much visual weight as a solid object that we're photographing. And we're going to be talking about learning to see the world in a very different way as photographers. Remember that tip, look into the 4 corners of the frame. That's going to really help you take in everything that you're looking at and photographing. And then right at the bottom here, I can't get the thing to scroll up. That's great, isn't it? The evaluation, the rubric that we use, presentation, composition, the technical aspect of photography, lighting, and creativity and interpretation is right at the bottom there. So that's the assignment that we're going to be working on today. We're going to go through just a couple more things on this sheet first of all, and then Miss Henderson will carry on and make sure that you've got your cameras up and working. I don't mind what settings you have on your camera for this assignment today, and one of the amazing things about digital photography is we can just stick the camera on auto and get going with composition, which is what we want to think about today. So composition, really, we're using the language of art, and the language of art, shape, form, rhythm, contrast, hierarchy, tension points, dominance, proportion, line, point, balance, symmetry, texture, pattern, perspective, contrast. It's the language of the dynamics of visual form. But really, those are terms that can be transferred for pretty much any art form. If you think about music, shape, form, rhythm, contrast, hierarchy, tension, release, dominance, proportion, line, point, balance, symmetry. If you're thinking about dance, shape, form, rhythm, contrast. If you're talking about sculpture, shape, form, rhythm, contrast. If you're talking about writing, shape, form, rhythm, contrast. So this language can be transferred to pretty much any art form. It may mean something slightly different when used in the context of writing as opposed to photography, but nonetheless, I think this language is very powerful. And as we go through the program, we're going to go through and explain what each of these things mean. Shape is a two-dimensional representation. Form is a three-dimensional representation. Of course, we're still working with a two-dimensional image that we're creating. But when we think about form, we're trying to show that things that are three-dimensional really are three-dimensional. We get a sense of their depth, if you will. And we'll be talking about that in our next assignment, or second along assignment that we'll be coming to in due course. Quote of the day: art is not what you see, but what you make others see. Edgar Degas. And going through the book, your photography book, you'll see that many of the quotes that are around the department and up on the wall in the department are taken from your book as well. And the book's structured with some great things like that. The beginning of every chapter is going to have a quote. There are sections, just single page or 2 pages, photographers at work through the book, and it looks at the work of dance photographers, sports photographers, advertising photographers. The section on history is great about photojournalism and the birth of documentary photography. So dig into your book. Tip of the day: look into the 4 corners of the frame. Your first assignment, we've gone through the layout of the assignment sheet. You can set your camera to auto and think about composition on this. And as we go through the program, there are 3 main areas that we're going to constantly come back to when we're thinking about photography. The little acronym there, MTV. M stands for the message or the meaning of a photograph. It starts with what we choose to photograph, what we think and consider is important and really cool that we want to show to other people and the rest of the world. So M stands for message or meaning. T, technical aspects of photography. Is it exposed correctly? Is the focus correct? Does it have camera shake, where there's a bit of movement in the photograph that diminishes the technical quality of the image? And then all of the post-production work that we do editing the picture in Photoshop or Lightroom. There are many, many things that we can do, and it's important that we don't damage the photograph, but all of that comes under the technical aspect of photography. And the V stands for visual, the visual aspects that we're kicking off on today, our composition. But it's much more than just composition, our understanding of shape, form, rhythm, contrast, tension points, hierarchy. Lighting comes under that category as well. And we'll be thinking a lot about light, how to light our subjects and the quality, the direction of light, whether light is hard or soft, and how we really use lighting. In this course, we'll be looking at natural light in a very specific way, but we'll use the same theory and the same thinking when we start working with studio lighting down the line. So today, Blackboard delivery, if you can get it together and you know how to manage your work so that you can deliver your images onto Blackboard, that's great. If you don't worry, and we'll pick up with that when I see you face to face. Miss Henderson is going to pick up today and take you through Blackboard. Ultimately, you'll be learning server delivery and printing as well. I'm going to wrap this short video up now. I've not shown you that many pictures. I'm sorry for that. And I've only got a few seconds left. Let's see if I can show you just a couple of images of what other students have done, just to give you an idea. The videos are limited to 15 minutes, which can be a good thing as well, really. Otherwise, I just keep on going. But this gives you an idea of what previous students have handed in for this assignment. Great, we're right at the tail end there. Have fun. I'm looking forward to meeting you face to face, and we're going to have a great time as we learn photography together.